Tonight on the CBS 2 News 10 at 10, the latest on the shooting that killed an Iowa man and his own violent past.
Then a helping hand.
I wish we had a bigger space where we could get each individual truck out of the door.
The effort to help a small volunteer fire department with a big problem.
And Regular Joe.
I have a lot of affection for Joe Biden.
Your thoughts on whether it's time for the vice president to start making the rounds in Iowa.
Now, the corridor's top stories and your weather first forecast in the first 10 minutes. This is CBS 2 News 10 at 10.
Gunshots ring out in Waterloo, leaving one dead. Good evening, everybody, and thank you for being with us tonight. We begin with a deadly shooting in Waterloo. One man died after being shot at a club.
Police say it happened about 3:30 this morning outside Porsche's Theater of Arts on West Airline Highway. This is video of the scene taken by the Waterloo Courier. The victim is 27-year-old Justin Dolans. He died from gunshot wounds at university hospitals. So far, no arrests, and police are asking for help from the public. Iowa court records show Dolan has a history of gun violence himself. In 2008, he was found guilty of shooting a teenager. All across Iowa, crews will tell you fighting fires is not easy, especially when you don't have critical resources.
One volunteer fire department in Jones County has struggled for decades. CBS News reporter Steffi Lee is here to tell us why they say they desperately need some help.
Well, Matt enjoyed the Onslow Fire Department in Jones County says that without the building, that they don't have room to operate like a bigger city's fire department, even though by law they're held to the same standards. But they hope that if they get a new building, that can be a starting point.
Will tell you their main problem.
The big thing is just space.
There really isn't any.
It's not big enough, and we back into the trucks when we're backing them in.
The 5 trucks housed inside here are stuck.
Sometimes things don't go well, and we do, unfortunately, hit one.
Bumper to bumper.
Minimum 2-person process, 1 driving, 1 watching.
It makes it difficult to respond to fires because if to a grass fire, we have to pull other trucks out of the way first.
Now imagine trying to walk in this tight fit with all of this gear on. It's already hard enough to try to squeeze through and duck underneath, but it's taking a little bit extra time to make sure that you can fully get into the truck.
We had a bigger space where we could get each individual truck out of the door.
Now that the department's 100 years old, they're hoping to build a new building in their city park, where they held their first fundraiser on Sunday. The city council will make the final decision on the location once the department raises close to $100,000.
Back in here, we have a lot of room that we're just mowing here at the park and fertilizing.
But for some,
more work.
Changing locations isn't a great idea.
Number one, they're too far off the main road. If they put one back here, we want a strip of land back there, and they're 2 blocks from the main highway.
But despite where the location is, Chief Streeper says every dollar will help provide the main thing the department desperately needs to keep the town safe.
Space.
Chief Streeper says he hopes to see a new building in 2 to 5 years. And if you'd like to donate, you can find more information on our website. Steffi Lee, CBS 2 News, 10 at 10.
Well, we thought we would see a mostly sunny afternoon, but it was mostly cloudy across eastern Iowa and turned out to be a gloomy day. We did see clouds stay over most of eastern Iowa, and maybe a couple of us saw a break in some sunshine, but that definitely dropped our temperatures and kept us in the 70s. Right now, though, we have cooled down into the 60s, 64 here in Cedar Rapids and up in Decorah, 63 in Waterloo, and 65 in Iowa City. Take a look at satellite radar. You can see that skies have been clearing out, and so we just have some clouds in our northwestern counties. The rest of us seeing mainly clear skies across eastern Iowa. It's still muggy out there, our dew points in the 60s, and we will see that humidity continue to increase here through the next couple days. Tonight's forecast calls for lows in the upper 50s up in the north and low 60s, partly cloudy to mainly clear skies. We will see areas of fog because of the clearing skies and calm winds overnight, so just be extra cautious when you head to work tomorrow and even drop the kids off at school. We'll see a temperature reading around 62 degrees when the kids head to school tomorrow. Once again, there will be the areas of fog and it will be cloudy. but will become sunny here later tomorrow afternoon with temperatures quickly rising into the 80s. I'll talk more about the heat wave and if we even have any rain chances in our 7-day coming up. Matt and Joy.
Marissa, thank you. CBS 2 News 10 at 10 continues now with more of the corridor's top stories. After months of delays and detours, people who live in North Liberty are celebrating the reopening of Highway 965. Today, many gathered for a block party near the intersection of Penn Street and the new highway. They enjoyed live music and extended hours at the Penn Street Farmers Market. Some of the people we talked with say it's been a long haul for 965 and definitely is worth celebrating.
It's great. It caused a little bit of a delay for us on a daily basis, so it's great to have the highway back open, and it's great to come out here on a beautiful day and enjoy and celebrate.
One other area project, the North Ridge Trail, is expected to be open by the end of September.
In a CBS 2 News follow-up, Oak Hill Cemetery in Cedar Rapids is still asking for help to preserve its history. A tour of the 154-year-old resting place was held this afternoon with the hope of showing the community the history on the grounds. The Oak Hill Cemetery Association tells CBS 2 News they need more than $200,000 to help with various projects that will keep the grounds maintained and accessible.
Our overall goal is to do $20 per individual grave out here at Oak Hill Cemetery. And that will allow us in 5 years to build a new building, maintenance facility, sales office, visitor center.
A lot of notable Lynn County residents are buried at Oak Hill, like Dr. Myron McKeeby, the dentist and model in the famous American Gothic painting.
Kids in Iowa City on the move this morning. They showed up with their parents for the annual Get Moving for Healthy Kids 5K at West High. It's all to promote having fun with physical activity. The money raised from the event goes to Healthy Kids Community Care. It provides free medical, dental, vision, and mental health care to uninsured kids.
It's really important that kids move and stay physically active, and important for adults too. But we need to teach kids at a young age that it's good, it's beneficial to be active, but it's also really fun to be active.
More than $1 million has been raised during Healthy Kids Community Care events since it started in 2002.
The last festival part of Summer of the Arts has wrapped up in Iowa City. Iowa Soul Fest finished up with a gospel brunch this morning at the Sheridan. The concert capped off a weekend of live music and plenty of soul food on the Pentacrest. Organizers say it's a way to celebrate the end of another art-filled summer.
Gospel music is just such an important component of soul music. This is really the capper on a perfect weekend of very cool music.
Summer of the Arts festivals may be over, but there are 2 more Friday night concerts scheduled on the Ped Mall. The third candidate in the running to be the president of the University of Iowa has been announced. Joseph Steinmetz will be on campus tomorrow for an open forum to meet faculty and students. Now, right now, he serves as provost for Ohio State University. Before that, he was in charge of the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences at the University of Kansas. His forum is tomorrow at 4:45 at the Iowa Memorial Union. There are 4 finalists in the running for the job, and the Board of Regents hopes to announce the next president of UI on Thursday.
Democratic presidential candidate Bernie Sanders is riding the wave of good news from the latest Iowa poll. Today he made the rounds on the Sunday morning news shows. The Des Moines Register Bloomberg poll shows him closing the gap on Hillary Clinton. She is at 37%. He is now just 7 points behind. The Vermont senator says the 2 candidates differ on a number of major issues.
I believe we should expand Social Security by lifting the cap on taxable income. That's not Hillary Clinton's position. I believe that we've got to raise the minimum wage over a period of several years to $15 an hour, not Hillary Clinton's position. I voted against the war in Iraq. Hillary Clinton voted for it.
The Iowa poll indicates Hillary Clinton has dropped 20 points since May.
Clinton wasn't in Iowa campaigning today, but somebody was on her behalf. Representative Joaquin Castro was in Iowa City stumping for Clinton today, specifically for her immigration reform plan. He comes from a heavily Hispanic district in Texas near San Antonio and says that Clinton will fight for the rights of immigrants if elected president.
I believe that she'll do everything that she can to make sure that the United States is the preeminent nation of opportunity in the world the way we've been for so many years. She'll help hardworking families, make sure that we raise the minimum wage, and do everything that we can to make sure we have a strong health care system.
Castro made additional stops on behalf of Clinton in Marshalltown and Des Moines today.
There's one other Democrat that's now become the elephant in the room in the party of donkeys. Joe Biden isn't even in the race, and he has 14% of the support in Iowa. It begs the question, do you think the Vice President of the United States will shoot for the top?
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States of America, Barack Obama.
Joe Biden has had his moments, but even many Republicans admit he is one of the most respected men in Washington, well-versed in foreign policy, able to compromise, and a veteran of the ways of Iowa politics. But does that mean this regular Joe should jump in the race?
I have a lot of affection for Joe Biden, but I don't really think he stands a chance.
Jane says she's leaning away from Hillary, but more towards Bernie Sanders as an alternative, and Biden might actually help.
I suppose if he's going to take votes away from anybody, probably would be Hillary, but I can't see the nomination going to Joe, much as I like him.
Some political analysts say the softening of support for Hillary Clinton indicates Democrats want more choices. And if Senator Elizabeth Warren runs with Biden, it could raise the stakes even more. But on our Facebook page, Arlen writes, "No, I don't think Biden should enter the race. He's too nice, and it's too late." Mike says he's the most qualified for it. Referring to Biden's recent loss of his son to brain cancer, Bonnie says he needs time to heal a little, and the conservative news needs to leave him alone. I like Joe, and I know the GOP would show no mercy. Their mouths are watering already.
I know for most of my Democratic friends, a lot of them are looking towards Bernie Sanders.
Alexa says a lot of her friends don't trust Biden, Clinton, or anyone else seen as establishment. They are looking at Bernie.
I think he's just kind of offering like a refreshing, completely different kind of thing. And that's what a lot of people are looking for, given kind of the state of our country right now.
Analysts say they expect Biden to announce a decision one way or the other in the next few weeks. If you have thoughts on whether he should run, you can leave them right now on our Facebook page.
Still to come on the CBS 2 News, Erica in Florida. The storm may have fizzled out a bit, but residents there are still preparing for some major rain.
It was a gloomy day around eastern Iowa, but that is quickly changing. We will talk about the heat wave and why you may want to leave a few minutes earlier tomorrow morning when you head to school or work.
Tropical storm Erica is now blasting through South Florida. Parts of Miami received more than 4 inches of rain last night as dangerous waves hit the beaches. The good news? The storm has weakened over the past 2 days after it devastated islands in the Caribbean. At least 20 people died and dozens are still missing on the island of Dominica.
Back here at home after cooler temperatures this week, we're going to start off September with temps that belong in July. Marissa Scott is in for Jennifer tonight and has a check of that weather first forecast. Marissa?
And Matt and Joy, we thought that we would see mostly sunny skies this afternoon, but most of us saw a gloomy day across eastern Iowa. And our high temperatures, well, they're showing the big picture here. A lot of us saw temperatures still in the 70s, and we thought that we would get into the 80s for most of us here today. Burlington and our southeastern counties or fringe counties were really the only ones that saw 80s, and that's because they saw some sunshine and break in the clouds. The rest of us that saw 70s, we saw mainly cloudy skies here for our Sunday. Taking a look at our temperatures though, right now we have cooled down about 10, even maybe 15 degrees in some spots. 64 here in Cedar Rapids, 65 in Iowa City, and 65 over in Tama. Now, if you did get outside and saw this red tinted moon, this is from the Muscatine, Iowa weather. Well, we did kind of have a hazy sunset this evening, and we are still seeing kind of a red tint to that moon because of wildfire smoke from the wildfires in the northwestern part of our country. So it's crazy to think that that smoke has definitely come here, and it's looking like we can maybe even see some of that haze as we wake up the next couple of days, and it's going to linger around here for a couple of days because we're just going to be seeing clear skies here, and so we won't have any. We'll also see some calm winds, so we won't have the winds pushing that smoke out of the Hawkeye state. Tonight, though, overnight, we're going to see partly cloudy skies and our lows in the 50s and 60s. And because of also the calm winds and those clearing skies and decreasing clouds, we will see fog develop overnight here into the morning hours. So just be extra cautious when you do head to work or even school tomorrow. Slow down on the roadways. Now, we are going to be seeing a heat wave as we end August and begin September. We'll see our temperatures warm up into the 80s and even near 90 by midweek. Taking a look at satellite radar, you can see that we've cleared out and we're starting to see those skies clear out. Just a couple clouds off in our northwestern counties. The rest of us seeing mainly clear skies to even partly cloudy skies. So a big change from our afternoon. Winds are out of the south. They're light and calm across eastern Iowa, and our dew points are in the 60s. So it's still muggy out there. And that's also another factor of why we're going to see that fog develop here overnight. Our humidity will continue to increase the next couple days. We'll be in that humid category tomorrow afternoon with our dew points in the upper 60s and low 70s. Taking a look at Midwest satellite radar, you can see the clearing skies across the Hawkeye state. We do have some showers and storms off to our west. We're just going to stay dry here for the next couple days and not even see any of that rain thanks to some upper ridge high level pressure. Take a look at Predictor. Starting the clock at 11, you can see that we have mainly clear skies to partly cloudy skies across eastern Iowa. Then that fog rolls on in here around 3 o'clock in our northwestern counties and our northern counties. Then we'll start to see that fog increase across eastern Iowa the next couple hours tomorrow morning. It will thin out around 8, 9 o'clock tomorrow, and then by the noon hour, we'll see a mix of sun and clouds and become sunny for the rest of our afternoon. Predictor showing some sprinkles, but I think most of us will stay dry and won't even see that. We're just going to see warm and humid conditions with that sunshine here tomorrow. Here's a look at that dense fog advisory. It starts tomorrow at 2 o'clock and goes until 8 o'clock tomorrow, mainly below Highway 20 for our southern counties. So if you are heading out the door before 8 o'clock, just be extra cautious on the roadways. Use your low beams and especially be extra cautious around the school zones with the kids back to school tomorrow. Tonight, 50s and 60s for our lows. And if we take a look at our school day forecast, when you drop the kids off at the bus stop or even school, we will still see the areas of fog. And then it will become sunny and we'll quickly warm things up into the 80s here tomorrow afternoon. 80s across the board tomorrow, warm and muggy, so it's going to feel like summer. Definitely a big change from when we started school last week. And then mostly sunny skies for the next 7 days with temperatures getting near 90 and even maybe hitting 90 on Wednesday.
Kind of the weird wardrobe transition
yes,
time.
Yes, definitely. Want to pull out those tank tops again. I know a couple of us were pulling out the sweaters last week. No, you're going to want the tank tops this week.
Thanks, Marissa. Okay, we know we have a lot of talent around here, but who are you yelling about today?
David Johnson, man. All he did at UNI is score touchdowns. Coming up in sports, what the former Panther did against the Raiders. for the first time in his career. You saw it there, coming up next on CBS 2.
Listen throughout the day for your weather first forecast on Iowa's Alternative, 94.1 KRNA. Now from the BillionAuto.com sports desk, here's your CBS 2 Sports Update.
Whenever Zach Johnson wins on the PGA Tour, he does it with a strong final round. And heading into the final round at the Barclays, the Cedar Rapids native was right there for his second win of the year. But he got off to a slow start. 2 bogeys set him back. Zach Attack would rally though. Third hole, he drops in the short birdie. You didn't see it, but he did. Then on 5, Johnson goes uphill and sinks it for the 24-foot chirper to get him back to 9 under where he started the round. But then he had some putter problems. Johnson misses a bird to the left on 7, and then on 8, he just reads the green wrong. Next hole, he's got another birdie attempt, and it's another missed opportunity. Johnson finished tied for 4th at 10 under, 9 strokes behind Jason Day, who had an unbelievable round. 8 birdies for the Australian, who passes Jordan Spieth for the lead in the FedEx Cup standings. So Jason Day won the tournament, but the real winner in my book, Brian Harman. He did the impossible. Dropped in 2 hole-in-ones. Yeah, 2 of them. That one was on 14. He also aced the 3rd hole. Looks like Hamill on an off day. It hasn't been the greatest preseason for the Packers. First, the green and gold lose their #1 receiver, Jordy Nelson, for the year. And then on Saturday against the Eagles, well, this happened. Not only did former Hawkeyes Micah Hyde and Brian Bulaga get hurt, but their new #1 wideout, Randall Cobb, suffered an AC joint sprain, and his status for the season opener against the Bears is up in the air. But even after all of that, Mike McCarthy isn't going to rest the starters.
The health of your players is at the forefront of everything that you do in your program. So, and every decision is weighed with an amount of risk, but you have to play. I mean, you have to play football. It's nonsense to think you can just go and not play, your starters throughout preseason. I mean, it's not practical. We all signed up for 4 preseason games. That's what it is.
David Johnson in action tonight in the preseason, and the former Panther did what he does best, score touchdowns. Drew Stanton hits him in the fourth with a score. Johnson had 4 catches, 40 yards, and that touchdown. The Sprint Cup Series took a week off from turning left on the track, but not Landon Castle. He was running his own race. Well, I should say running, biking, and swimming. The Cedar Rapids native was in Austria for the Ironman Triathlon World Championships. Castle finished in 5 hours, 6 minutes, and 4 seconds for 103rd in his division. Major League Baseball Cubs trying to avoid the brooms in LA, and Jake Arrieta did that and more. He was straight up filthy. 12 Ks and 0 hits. And in the 9th, he struck out the side for his first career no-hitter. Cubs win 2-0. And down on the farm, the Colonels opened their 6-game road trip on a good note. The Men of Corn beat the Chiefs 7-3. The series continues tomorrow in Peoria. And that's a check of sports. We'll be right back.
Heads up for all you commuters tomorrow. We do have a dense fog advisory in effect from 2 to 8 o'clock tomorrow, so we will see some areas of dense fog tomorrow. That will thin out here by the 8 o'clock hours. We will see temperatures in the 60s and then quickly warm things up and become sunny by tomorrow afternoon with temperatures near 85 by 3 o'clock. Temperatures all across the board the next 7 days in the 80s, even hitting 90 on Wednesday. Mostly sunny. I wouldn't be surprised if we maybe have some heat advisories even in effect or warnings, just to be mindful of that. So this is the week to turn on the AC and double check the elderly, your neighbors, and even our furry friends, because it's going to be a hot one this week, and we definitely are not used to that after last week with temperatures in the 70s and even 40s overnight last week. So it's crazy. Huge change.
Nuts.
All right, thanks, Marissa. Thank you for watching the CBS 2 News 10 at 10.
Have a great night, everybody. We'll see you right back here tomorrow.